The fact that the boats have stopped. All of them.
Yeah.
All the sea people from the channel, it's gone.
I
It's
thought
over,
it was
lads.
impossible.
It's impossible. It would never happen. It's not like the Rwandan plan would help with that in the slightest. No, it's gone. It's over. So, and I'll start this off just by mentioning, doing a bit of a shill here, for the Rousseau's The Social Contract book club that Carl and me did, in which he explained to me, well, Rousseau's philosophy. And one of the points in here is about the general will and the fact that he believes that all society should just conform to the general will, whatever that is, except when it's wrong, in which case we should ignore it. Mad.
Explains a lot. If you're interested in seeing Callum's soul get progressively destroyed, check it out.
Yeah, taking a look at left-wing ideology and its roots, and then you just realise, holy bugger, is this based on nothing?
It's the fact that it's based on a conception of a fantasy land that even the author said, well, this isn't real, but here's what would happen if it was real.
All left-wing theory. Anyway, but we will come back to that, because I'll mention it in a bit as well. And if we go to the next one, we can start seeing the results of the Rwandan plan. This is something I have been a bit obsessed with, I will admit. But it's because it's the biggest policy change in regards to immigration. And, you know, all of the problems we've had with immigration, the crisis of 2016, the endless rapes, Cologne, I mean, it's just an unbelievable amount of problems. I mean, if you haven't read it, Douglas Murray's Strange Death of Europe, perfect thing to read. And this is something that has really changed and has seemingly worked. And we'll start off here just as you can see The Guardian documenting the screeching at the time the thing was announced. If we go to the next one, we can see some... there should be another link in there, John, in which there's a guy complaining about the fact that, well, he used to work for the Home Office and he used to block stuff like this, and now it's happening, and that's terrible. I was like, yes, thank you for exposing yourself as corrupt. And part of the, I don't know what you call them, the deep state that have been destroying this country from within. As you can see here, former Home Secretary Permanent Secretary Sir David Norrington, the government's plan to send some asylum seekers to Rwanda is inhumane. It's morally reprehensible, unlawful, and may well be unworkable.
What's so bad about Rwanda?
I don't know.
It's like he's almost saying it's an S-hole country or something.
Racist. When we go to the next one, we can see the trip itself being mapped here. As you can see, you got the RAF base there. We're going to be shipping them from all the way to Rwanda there. If you go to the next one, there's a rendition. I saw people making snakes and ladders comparisons. There we have it.
It's when it's that last square right before you win, straight back to the start.
So you're not even going back to the start, are you? You're not going back to...
You're being thrown off the board.
Not going back to Iran. Instead, you're going to Africa, which is especially funny considering how racist much of the Middle East is. I'm sure they're going to enjoy that. If we go to the next one, we can see the reality of the situation. It should be a different link in there, John. So the reality of the situation from Migration Watch, in which they mention the fact that, well, here's the facts of the situation. Number one, most of them destroy their documents. Number two, many were already rejected for asylum in Europe. And number three, lack of ability to vet those coming means a public safety nightmare. 100% true. Evidently true. How can I make such a claim that they destroy their documents? Because they film it. They film it and put it on TikTok. Let's go to the next one. This is a video I made a while back. We're not going to play the audio, but there's just a segment in here. Let's play it without the audio. Just so you can see
all my fans are going to love this one.
Look, here's my ID. And into the sea it goes. Bye. We can stop that.
Wait, what?
There's a whole other joke.
What was that after that?
It's a joke about Biden and the Dems, but...
okay, all right.
But the point there is just that's the only place I could find the clip again, in which the guy is just like, yeah, well, there's my ID. Yeah, in the sea. He's a genuine refugee. He genuinely wants you to know his story, doesn't he?
He's going to come over here and integrate and be a proper British man.
Filming themselves destroying their documents. Good to know. And then we have the media reporting on this, in which they're whining that it'll never work, can't happen. We've got the Mirror here, who previously published a completely fake news story, you may remember. They said they interviewed a guy from the hotel, and then the guy retweeted it saying, I've never spoken to you.
I don't think I did see that, actually.
100% fake news.
That's amazing.
We spoke to Emmanuel, and then Emmanuel just retweeted it. No, I didn't.
You know nothing of me and my work.
Anyway, there's another fake news story from here, which is like, nasty Rwanda asylum seeker scheme exposed. What it will cost and why it will fail. Home Office claims it is legal due to new rules being pushed through last year in a post-Brexit shake-up. God bless Brexit. God bless the Brexiteers. You have made my dreams come true. They say it will be easier to deem people inadmissible to claim asylum if they pass through a safe third country on the way here. That cuts off their bid for UK refugee status at the first hurdle. Yeah, so what's the problem? Seems pretty sensible. Works. God bless Brexit. What's the complaint? And then they have a section called Why It Won't Work. The policy may only send a small proportion of people who arrive in Britain to Rwanda, so it won't solve the refugee crisis. So what? It's not about... It's about sending a message. And they're getting the message. And I'll prove to you they've gotten the message in a minute. It's understood the numbers will be in the thousands over the first few years, compared to the 5,000 who arrived on small boats in January alone. So, okay, we're going to start shipping out the January lot, and then the February lot, and then the March, move on. And they say, while Boris Johnson's claims will deter others, he admitted the number on small boats arrivals is unlikely to fall to zero soon. It's unlikely to fall to zero. Keep that in mind. Can you guess what the number is? We'll go to the next one, which we have the Tory MPs whining about this, or at least some cucks. So Conservative MP says a safe route would clearly kill the evil traffic of people smuggling in a stroke. That's one way of dealing with it.
We just make it easier for them to get in?
No, this is a stupid complaint you get from Labour, which is there are no safe routes. There are no safe legal routes. It's impossible.
What about just applying for asylum?
That's not possible. It is possible. Like, they're just openly lying. And apparently some Conservative MPs are silly enough to just fall for open lies, including this one. He says, I fail to see how moving people to Rwanda is going to in any way disrupt this money-making scheme with these people traffickers. And he says, they're just going to use different routes to land people on our shores. I'm just not getting it. I'm afraid. Well, keep being afraid. As we all
So
dash,
scared, guys.
like, we're all going to dash to the future and solve the problem, and you can sit there and have a cry. It's no one else's problem.
Let's be fair. Let's be honest. You've said it many times. There is a large contingency of the Conservative Party which are not Conservative and are just Labour in disguise.
Yeah. Conservative former minister Sir Bob Neill suggested investing the money intended for the Rwandan immigration deal in improving the UK's cases for handling the asylum cases. It's like, no, like making it easier to get here will not stop the trade. It'll make the trade worse.
Yes. You are incentivizing people to come here.
Simple things. If we go to the next one, you can see there's a video I made a long time ago in which you just see, well, one of these safe schemes, and there are loads of them. This is just the one for Syrians because at the time they were whining that there was no schemes for Syrians to come here except the Syrian Vulnerable Persons Resettlement Scheme, which they didn't know about, presumably, or were just lying. Had no and didn't want to say it. If we go to the... there's also just the fact that the Conservative MPs here seem to be falling for the George Floyd effect that we've mentioned previously, and I thought I'd insert this just because also I think it's really funny. Let's go to the next one. I know I've been showing you her. So this is a lady who represents the George Floyd effect really well.
I don't think this lady's ever been Conservative, let's be honest. Come on.
No, but the Conservative MPs are falling for the same thing.
Oh, no.
When they're arguing there's no safe legal routes. So the George Floyd effect is when your NPC friends in your life go along with the current thing, which is the general will, as Rousseau called it. Not because they've thought about it. Not because they have any information on it. It's just, they've never spoken about that issue before, but all of a sudden they definitely know what the right thing is to do.
Well, it's groupthink, and I know this is kind of cringe to use this term for some people, but they are just like sheep. They see the general direction that people are going in, and they just tag along because they're afraid of going against the crowd.
Here's an individual. Let's see if she's a sheep. This is a female bishop in the United States. She went with, we are all Muslims. Bishop of Christianity. We're a Muslim. Okay. Right? Not you then, presumably. There's also her here. Of course, she's into the mask mandate after they got rid of it. She's like, I'm going to continue to wear the mask. COVID isn't over.
I mean, that's allowed.
Go to the next one. We have Black Lives Matter. Okay, yeah, literal George Floyd right there. If we go to the next one as well, we have some statements from her in which she says, we have a black and Asian woman as vice president. I'm letting that sink in and the tears are flowing. Comes off one way or another.
Okay. I mean, oh no, a black woman as a vice president? No!
She also goes with black Christians use faith to survive, white Christians use it to oppress. Says the bishop.
Says the white Christian. Okay.
I can't get over enough. These people do exist. If we go to the next one, just to represent, there's also some other whining. We have the Daily Mail here saying only 2% of the Channel migrants are set to go to Rwanda. Fewer than 200 a year expected to qualify for the scheme. Like it's a work placement scheme. Like you put in your application form. I love that. If we scroll down, we can see they say the new analysis is by the Refugee Council, which has opposed the scheme, found that only 172 of the migrants are deemed inadmissible last year. Who cares what they think? Like, I'm not going to believe the literal open border schmucks. Like, they're not important to this conversation. If we go to the next one, we have the smear merchants also whining that they don't get to go on a trip to Rwanda themselves, which is funny. So they don't get to go with Priti Patel. And then if we go to the next couple here, we can see the reactions from the migrants. Some here, the Sun went with, they're still going to come. If we go to the next one, we have the Daily Mail saying that, no, I'm not going to Rwanda, screw that. And which one do you think it was? Which one do you think is the reality? Are they going to come or are they going to stop?
I think they might stop.
Yeah. Let's go to the next link. See the reality of the numbers. Here you have it. Love my zeros. Love my zeros. That's beautiful. That's the most beautiful piece of data I've ever seen.
It's very telling, isn't it?
Yeah.
Paints a picture.
For people listening, we have the dates, migrants detected and boats detected. 18th of April, 88 migrants, 2 boats. 19th of April, 263 migrants, 7 boats. 20th of April, nothing. 21st, nada. 22nd, absolutely nobody. 23rd, again, just all you can hear is the wind. No calls of refugees welcome, not happening. 24th.
There's just a tumbleweed going across the channel.
24th, nothing. Nada, absolutely nothing. That's beautiful. That is the most
Brilliant.
beautiful British thing I've ever seen. You solve the problem. It's done. There's the data for you there, which is if you want to solve the problem, well, do the Israeli solution, which is send them to Rwanda.
Well, we will see if the numbers continue to be this glorious, but for the time being, it's looking good. It's looking pretty good, boys.
If the numbers go back up to 1, I don't know, we'll pick the Congo next.
There you go.
Whatever has to
We'll
be
just
done.
send them deeper and deeper into Africa.
Enjoy the Civil War. Have a gun.
Yep.
If we go to the next one, we can see the cope from this as well. This is the BBC journo who is very upset that these numbers are what they are. And he says, for those asking, I haven't seen any channel crossing since last Tuesday. This is likely due to the windy weather, not the Rwandan deterrent. Trust me, it's the weather. It's windy. The migrants won't brave windy weather.
Oh, what was that? Oh, it must have been the wind.
Yeah, if we go to the next one, we have locals who are just like, talking bollocks. Here's me at the seaside. It's fine. It's about normal. And it's just fake news. And even if it wasn't fake news, let's say the winds are unbelievable. There's tornadoes in the channel right now. It's inhuman. Just tidal waves, tsunamis, earthquakes, I don't know.
And they still come.
Yeah. If we go to the next one, we can see the data. We just have the data over the last few years. And if you scroll down, John, there's a bunch of graphs, and it just shows them coming every month of the year constantly. The wind didn't stop them. I mean, even in December, you're getting people coming at the worst time.
Yeah, and we've had actual storms in that time when they've been coming, and it didn't stop them.
No, still turned up. So no, it is the Rwandan deterrent by the looks of it. And of course, the Home Office is doing something wonderful at the same time. And whoever runs the Home Office Twitter is having fun. I think they're still tweeting out like, "Hey, look, this guy's doing very well in Rwanda. Everything's fine. This country protects human beings." This is a direct quote. Unlike England, who is it's not safe for you here. You need to go to Rwanda. Elgur, however you say it, is a French teacher in Rwanda, and another example of how the country is successfully integrating migrants. Unlike us, who failed to integrate them, which is a weird dunk on yourself, Home Office, he is using his skills to teach and inspire the next generation.
No,
of
Callum, I don't think you understand. If we just advertise ourselves as well, if you come over here, you're never going to integrate.
No.
Why would you even want to come here? Look at how great it is over in Rwanda, guys.
We're a very intolerant country. We won't integrate you.
Yeah.
You won't be able to get a job like this guy.
Have you seen this Romy Tomlinson guy? I mean,
Yeah. We don't even protect human beings in this country. It's awful. Hell, Lord of the Flies. Whereas
But
in
Rwanda, oh.
inclusive, diverse, 100% diverse. And you'll get along. And then forget the next one. I love how they've used this guy twice now. A refugee to software engineer. Software engineer emoji, a guy on a laptop with a smiley face. Corny.
This could be you in Rwanda.
See that emoji? That could be you. Smiling. Rwanda has given Sammy the chance to fulfill his dreams, and now it's the country he calls home. Rwanda's resettlement scheme means people like Sammy can build a sublime future free from conflict and war.
Well, that's the thing. If this is true, and if it is giving these people opportunities, then surely all of the refugee activists should be happy. Because they don't need to come over here to be safe. I mean, look at how good that Sammy has it in Rwanda.
But that's the thing. This is actually true of increasingly the majority of the world. I mean, it used to be most of the world is an absolutely horrible place, and compared to heaven, it is, of course. But compared to a Syrian civil war, ISIS-controlled town, most of
Rwanda looks pretty good.
Pretty nice. You can get along if you just work and integrate, and I'm sure the Rwandan viewers will agree. All 2 of you.
God bless.
Send us a message. Can organise a trip, it'll be fun. But yeah, you can see, well, people settling in, and there is no given reason. If you just want more money, that's not a reason to break into someone's country. It's not good enough. Like, you can't just break into the United States if you're British because, I don't know, bored.
Dude, I only robbed the bank because I needed more money, okay? It's fine.
It's a fair
Are
argument.
you going to judge me?
But there we have it. There's the new plan for immigration, the beautiful, inclusive, diverse country that is Rwanda. And, all the boats. Love my zeros. Dominik Tarzinski has that completely right. If you appreciated that segment from the podcast The Lotus Eaters, you can go to lotuseaters.com to get access to all the premium content we have on the site, such as the book clubs we do, this one from Harry on irreversible damage of our transgender craze. If you want to find out what else Harry's putting out, you can follow him on Getter at @HarryLotusEater on Getter. Thank you and goodbye.